welcome to the Lynn Community Television Show. I'm Sean Donahue. Here with me today, Ray Bastarache, the president of the Lynn Rotary Club. The Lynn Rotary Club is an organization in Lynn, but they're actually represented throughout the entire world. Ray's here today to talk to us a little bit about this club and what their focus is. Ray?
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate the opportunity to come here and meet with a fellow Rotarian.
Absolutely. I was psyched to have you come into my office a couple months back and tell me a little bit about Rotary. The motto is service above self.
That's correct.
Now I'm a younger professional in the City of Lynn looking for some volunteering opportunities, and it's tough to gain the gusto to just go down to Brother's Table or go down to a food drive and hand out whatever they're asking you to. Rotary was a platform for me to just jump on board and do the volunteering that you guys are working for and you already have in place, which is outstanding because you go to a meeting, you sign up on a list, the date's been set, you know there's going to be a group of people helping you out there, and at the same time you're networking within the City of Lynn among some really positive, influential citizens.
Oh, I think that's a very accurate description why a lot of people join Rotary. It does provide an opportunity for people from all walks of life, for whatever reason, whether it's professional growth or development, or just to do good in the community, want to join an organization whose sole purpose is to provide service. It is an international organization, Sean. There are 1.2 million Rotarians in 20 countries and 34,000 clubs. The Lynn Club has been around for 95 years. We were one of the first clubs. Rotary came to the United States in Chicago right around the turn of the century, but we kicked off our club, the Lynn Club, in 1921. So we've been around a long time. We have a long, rich history in the city, and basically we're comprised of people from all walks of life who gather to do good for the community. That's why people join.
So you're the president now. How long have you been affiliated with the club?
I've been in the club only 2 years, but I was asked to become the president. A little bit about the Lynn Club. We were pretty stagnant in terms of membership for a long time, as was Rotary throughout the country. The model for Rotary has always been luncheon meetings. For our club, it's Thursdays. Meetings last about an hour and a half, and that option really did not fit today's workforce. A lot of young professionals just were not available and did not want to commit to 45 minutes every Thursday for lunch. They like the idea of Rotary. The whole premise of service above self is an honorable one and also an attractive one, but the commitment for lunch once a week was difficult. Now, 50% attendance is a requirement for Rotary. So what I was able to do is to go to the board of directors and ask for their permission to explore an option for a morning club, a satellite club, sponsored by the Luncheon Club, where the commitment is just 50% attendance at a morning meeting, of which there are no speakers. The meetings are 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But they're full-fledged Rotarians, and they're out in the community. I mean, we're 6 days into January. We had a representative group handing out food at the Greater Boston Food Bank on Saturday. There was at least 8 or 9 Rotarians there. On Monday, including yourself, of course, we had another group, maybe 7 or 8 Rotarians at my brother's table, distributing food to the needy. So this is where you find Rotarians, where there are projects, where there are people in need, projects in the community that need either financial support or manpower. That's where Rotary steps in.
As a kid, I had grown up and I had seen the gear, the Rotary gear, everywhere. And I never really understood what it was. I thought it was just these guys who did an auction from time to time. But after looking more into the organization, there's a lot of significance to what you guys do, and I mean, you've solidified yourself within the Lynn community that if you guys weren't around, it would be noticed. I want to talk a little bit about some of the projects. If you're just joining us, we're here with Ray Bastarache, president of the Lynn Rotary Club. Lynn Rotary is an organization that dedicates service above the self. That's their motto, and it's an international organization, and it's dedicated to developing better lifestyles for humans, just like we are today. These guys meet Thursdays at 12:30 at the Porthole Restaurant for their luncheon meeting. That's at the 98 Lynn Way, Lynn, Massachusetts. They also meet Tuesday mornings, 7 a.m. at the Lynn Arts Building on Exchange Street. Now, there is a satellite meeting and there is a luncheon meeting. Is there a significant difference between the membership?
Well, there is a significant difference in terms of the Satellite Club is made up almost exclusively of new members who have joined Rotary, I would say, since July 1st, 2015. The reason they joined the Satellite Club is A, the Luncheon Club didn't work for them. The commitment of the Luncheon Club, of course, is meals. Now, we get a wonderful meal at the Porthole. Bob Gadet is terrific for us. But there's a financial commitment to pay for meals and a time commitment of approximately an hour and a half on Thursdays. These people wanted to be Rotarians. They want to do good in the community, but they could not commit either through their work schedule or maybe it's financial to do that. So the option of the Satellite Club, which meets at 7:30, not 7:30, all they pay is dues. So approximately for $200 a year, they go to a meeting that rarely lasts longer than 45 minutes. Most of the information at the meeting is about upcoming projects, things where we're looking for volunteers for. And people are out of there by 8:15 and on their way to work. So it's the timing, and for some, the financial commitment is the reason the Satellite Club has really exploded in the city of Lynn. The Rotary Club in Lynn now is, there probably was a time where it might have been in danger of folding its tent. That's not happening now. I mean, as I mentioned to you earlier, we have 16 new members in 5 months, and 2 more that are going to be presented on Thursday for membership to the board. So we're growing, and we're growing fast, which is great, a great sign.
So why do you think that is? What's the correlation? I mean, why all of a sudden the interest in Rotary?
Well, I think aggressive recruiting is probably part of it. But as we mentioned before we went on the air, Sean, I've lived in Lynn my whole life. I'm an educator. People know me through my long history at Lynn Public Schools as a teacher, principal, deputy superintendent, my years at St. Mary's as the head of school at St. Mary's. So I know this community and I know the folks, and I always felt in my heart that there's a lot of people who want to join an organization whose sole purpose is to do good. To do good. Make the community a better place. So I think once I took over, I identified people, and many of the new Rotarians have come to me, yourself included, and given me a name or follow up with a phone call. This person would be a great Rotarian, or she's, and it's not a men's club, it's women too, right. I should add. They love to help. They're always looking to volunteer to help out. Well, that's what a Rotarian is. That's who we're looking for.
Yeah,
so.
And it makes it a lot easier on the volunteer. I mean, I really have to speak volumes in that. And volunteering before, first you got to have a sit down, do some coffee, discuss what type of projects are going to be going on, which ones are going to be applicable to your schedule. And a Rotary, there's always going to be something going on that you can just jump on board to. Any of these members mentionable? Any of these members that you'd like to mention, some of their efforts while being Rotarians?
Well, the new executive director for the Lynn Arts and Lynn Museum, Drew Russo, he's a Rotarian. I was with Drew on Saturday morning. He was bagging food down there for the Greater Boston Food Bank. Drew's a wonderful guy, has a lot of contacts. Everybody knows Drew. He was one of the first people that I reached out to when I took over as the presidency. Patty Capano, longtime school committee member. Patty just joined on the Rotary Club. Jared Nicholson, who's new to the community of Lynn, was just elected to the Lynn School Committee. Jared is a new Rotarian. Brendan Crichton, our state rep. A lot of folks know Brendan and the wonderful work he's doing, both when he was a city councilor and now in the State House. Brendan is a new Rotarian. I mean, we've got a wonderful group of people, a good mix, but all have the common desire to make Lynn a better community. And I think the word is out there in the street. I mean, people come up to me and say, "Can you tell me something about this sensation Rotary that's going on, and it's just there's a lot of energy, really, Sean.
Yeah, Ray, I can confirm with you because I mean, a couple weeks back, I was inducted as a member, luckily enough, and I'm happy to be there. And the portal is great lunches, great staff. I mean, it is. It's an outstanding little thing that I get to do throughout my week. Now there's a little bit of difference between your organization and organizations like the Lions Club, Knights of Columbus. Can you?
Yeah, well, I can't speak specifically. I know the Lions. iResearch is one of their goals. Usually, the service clubs have a specific goal that they work on. Like Rotary International has been Polio Plus, where we have raised in the millions to eradicate polio around the world. And in fact, today, as you are aware, only Afghanistan and Pakistan are the only two countries in the world now that have new cases of polio. It's out of Africa. It's, I think when Rotary took this on as its major project, Rotary was pretty rampant in many countries. And we're very fortunate, I have to add, that the Gates Foundation not only matches but doubles whatever Rotary gives. So if we put up $1 million, they'll put up $2 million. So there's a $3 million donation to help eradicate polio. So that's one of the big international projects that Rotary is involved in, is the Polio Plus. In fact, in 2 weeks, we've got some Rotarians jumping into the Atlantic Ocean, a polio plunge. The Lynn Club has committed a goal of $1,000. We have many Lynn Rotarians have already made donations. And I hope we don't have weather like we had yesterday, because I'm part of the team that's going in.
You and I both, Ray. We'll be making it together.
That's right.
It'll be my first plunge. Can you wear a wetsuit?
Yeah, and you don't have to plunge. You can just walk.
I'm plunging.
One thing I wanted to mention, Sean, is is Rotary's involvement with the schools. For example, next Wednesday, every Lynn public school will be visited by a Rotarian who will present a dictionary to every third grader in the Lynn Public Schools. At the end of the month, we will have our 8th grade recognition program, which we've been doing now for many years, where we recognize one 8th grader from all of the public schools, the Catholic schools, St. Pius and Sacred Heart, St. Mary's, KIPP Academy. We have their family over. We give them dinner at the porthole. And we present them with certificates and a savings bond. Now, we do that 5 times a year. We give scholarships to graduating seniors. Last year, we gave out 4 to Lynn seniors. So we're very involved in the Lynn Public Schools, or the Lynn school system also is one of our projects, the Relay for Life. We sponsor the special games for the disabled children in the Lynn Public Schools over at Lynn Tech. Rotary Club of Lynn is the sponsor of that. So there's a rich menu of things for Rotarians to get involved in, whether they want to work at My Brother's Table, or the Greater Boston Food Bank, or the special games, or hand out dictionaries to 3rd graders, or serve on the scholarship committee, the 8th grade recognition. There's a lot of things for people to do.
I agree. And you're right about the interest is growing. I mean, I've been getting calls from people in the city, hey, I heard that you were a member of Rotary. How do I get on board? And I'm like, let me call Ray. And it's that simple. And then you've got a network of working, contributing citizens within the city. I want to talk a little bit about the events that are coming up. You've got one coming up in April, but one thing that I want to mention, just what was really interesting to me, was going to a meeting and seeing a gentleman there from Munich, Germany. And when this is an international organization, I mean, it's for real. They're not kidding. I mean, you can go to Germany and attend one of their Rotary luncheons. We've got guys from Swampscott who come over to Lynn. I'm sure there are guys at Lynn who go over to Swampscott. So there is a certain type of camaraderie, brotherhood, and sisterhood among the members there. So your event, it's coming up April 9th. It's the Stop Hunger Now event. This isn't the first time you've done this?
No, this is the 2nd year. And again, we collaborate with the other service clubs, with 2 other Rotary clubs, Swampscott and Peabody, and I believe Saugus, but also the Sioux City Lions, the Wyoming Lions. We all act as partners And we have it at St. Mary's Cafeteria because it's they have the long tables. We can bring in the product that we need, and we work in teams of 6. And we had a number of high school students who helped us out last year. And the food that we made last year was sent to Nepal for the earthquake victims in Nepal. But we made a little over 10,000 meals in 2.5 hours. So
Wow.
it's like, it would make Henry Ford proud when you think of mass production. We really, it was fun, but we had a wonderful morning, and it was great to collaborate and work side by side with folks from the Lions, folks from the Peabody Rotary and the Saugus Rotary too. It was great. It was a fun morning.
There's a bit of a friendly rivalry between these service groups within these communities. Now, my first volunteering opportunity with Rotary was ringing bells. And I was really excited about it. Had my little pin on and everything. Got out there, and just to see people, and they're like, "Hey, you're a Rotary," and people are like, "Oh, I'm a Rotarian," all that stuff. And I think Patty Capano was my fellow bell ringer,
right?
And she explained to me that she had heard a story that the Lions Club used to compete with Rotary, and at the end of the bell ringing thing, they used to stuff checks inside of the little bins there.
Wow.
So that's probably why they had lost so many years, Rotary.
Yeah, no, really. There probably does exist some friendly competition between the clubs, but that's something else that Rotary was involved in, helping out the Salvation Army. Santa's Island, the item Santa. We had 8 Rotarians on a Friday covering Wyoma Square, and we're able to raise over $900 in those 2 hours. And again, there was no difficulty getting volunteers to go out and do that. So it was just another item on the agenda of the opportunities to help.
So now, if there's anybody at home watching right now who's interested in becoming a Rotarian, what's their first step?
Well, we have a website. It's www.lynncommunitytelevision.org, I think. You can go on our website. We also have a post office box number, or you can even you can call me. My cell phone is 781-953-4807. And I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and give you some specific information about Rotary. And basically, it's a club that's growing with leaps and bounds, and I'm just delighted with the direction we're headed.
It's an exciting thing to be a part of, without a doubt.
It is.
So Ray's just divulged his cell phone number. Anybody who's interested in joining Rotary has no excuse why they can't do it today. You're probably the only second person in history of my career doing that. I love it. There's a guy's dedicated to the service, and he's part of the Rotarians. These guys are also dedicated to the community, and if you're looking to make an impact, Ray's going to be able to help you get into the right light. Ray, I want to thank you for coming on to the program.
My pleasure.
Ray Bastarache, president of the Lynn Rotary Club, located here right in Lynn, Massachusetts. That's it for the Lynn Community Television Show. I'm Sean Donahue from the studio here at Lynn Community Television, wishing you all the best.